Good day. This is Pastor Bolton with Full Gospel House of Prayer Ministries in Elizabethtown, North Carolina. Yesterday we talked about going into the new year a new way, meaning that this year is not over. Don't look past Christmas and immediately into the new year. When we don't give God the right amount of time to do what he needs to do, we look so far into the future, we can sometimes negate our blessings of the present. So I'm laying out a list of challenges to help us go into the new year a new way. Yesterday's challenge was to give love for the remainder of the year. Only 6 days left in this year, and give love throughout all these years. These challenges, though compiling, are for the remainder of the year. So let us try, number one, to give love. Truly, truly love somebody, not just with a kind word or a hug, but a good deed. Go out of your way, be intentional in giving love for the remainder of the year so that we can end up going into the new year a new way. Today's challenge, and along with giving love, is to change our perspective. The Bible says in Psalm 121, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall never slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is the shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. The very first verse and second verse of this psalm, Psalm 121, tells us about perspective. How we ought to look to the hills from which cometh our help, knowing that all of our help cometh from God. My question to you today is simply, where are you looking for your help? Because if you're not focusing it on the hills, if you're not focusing on looking up to the heaven, you could be getting false help. And so we have to change our perspective, not only from where we look, but from where we look. This song tells us if we're looking to the hills, it implies that we're down in the valley somewhere, which is A-okay, because the Bible says that the Lord our God sits high and he looks down low. Now, if we're low, we are supposed to look up high unto God so that we change our perspective and we start looking to God to do the things that God can do. And we learn how to trust him and just rely upon him to do what he needs to do. Then we'll change our perspective about how it looks. So I want you to change your perspective, because if we don't intentionally try to look at things God's way, we will get depressed. A few months ago, I really just stopped watching the news. Every time I turned it on, it was some series of bad news and some series of ill gotten will towards another humankind. And it just really broke my heart. So I stopped looking at the news. If I turn it on, it would just be for the weather and then turn it right back off. However, that is not what God designed for us to do. He said if we don't change our perspective, then we can become like I was, depressed and forlorn and worn out by such bad news because I was looking at it through natural eyes, when he tells us to walk by faith and not by sight. So the challenge for the remainder of the year is to change your perspective. Let God be God and let all his enemies be a liar. Now, if we're going to change our perspective, then we have got to change the way we think of things. The Bible says in Philippians 4:8, finally, brethren, whatsoever whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. These are the things we have to be intentionally focused on. If we're going to change our perspective, we have to change the way we think of these things. Think on those good things, those right things. There are so many good things to think about. There are so many true things to think about. There are so many beautiful things to think about. All we have to do is take the time to apply ourselves. And so for the remainder of the year, challenge 1 is to give love. And challenge 2 is to change our perspective on the way that we think of things. Thank you for listening, and may God continue to bless you, and may heaven's light shine upon you. Thank you.